I've just had my first day at pretending to be a videographer. I'm going to continue to describe it as pretending to be a videographer until I produce a video that I would be happy to charge somebody for, but it was really awesome. I've recorded a whole load of footage to give you a little bit of background of what I'm doing. It's a job for my school. I'm not getting paid for it, but I still work there anyway, and for me and my future it's much more beneficial for me to be spending my day going around and filming and editing than it is going around and teaching, because that's hopefully what I'm going to be doing next year. Much more filming, much more editing. So I've basically been paid a day's work as a teacher, but spent the majority of it doing filmmaking, which is fine by me. The video itself is designed to be a transition video that we can show to children who are moving up from primary school into secondary school. The brief I was given, they want the kids to talk about the thing they were most scared or worried about when they were still at primary school and they hadn't moved up yet. Whether it actually came true, spoilers, it didn't. They were worried about nothing. If you're a primary school kid, get off YouTube. You're not old enough. Unless your parents are sat with you, in which case that's fine. Don't be scared about secondary school. And we then talked about how they got over it. We talked about other little things like uniform and homework and what to do if you're getting bullied and what their favourite subject was. Nobody said computer science, which is a bit of a problem because that's my thing. And I've probably interviewed 15, 20, maybe even 25 little year 7s, little 11, 12-year-olds. They were all terrified. None of them wanted to look straight into the camera. They were all a few of them managed to look across at me. Most of them are looking down like that. Most of them have got their hands on their faces. I did what I could. Hopefully people will be able to see that it is little kids talking. They're not going to look full on into a camera and talk to it. And I don't know if that might feel a little bit uncomfortable if they were all doing that. Anyway, I have learnt what B-roll means and I filmed some of that, not enough yet. I need to do some more filming of that on Thursday. I got lots of kids walking into school. I filmed a bit of break time. What I haven't done yet is filmed any lesson time. So I need to do that. I need to dip into a couple of year 7 lessons on Thursday and film them mooching around in there. And then I need to start editing it together. I'm going to make a start on the interview section. Hopefully tomorrow, if I get some free time when I'm over in Coventry, which I certainly did last year, I'll take the laptop over there with me. I need it for the day anyway, and I'll just start fiddling with the interview part of it and try and get that edited down to how I want it to be. I've got, I don't know, 40 minutes of interview footage. It needs to come down to about 2 minutes. So there's a lot of chopping around. I think what I'm going to do is structure it by the 4 or 5 questions that they wanted me to ask, and I don't know, flash them up on the screen in text or something, and then have the kids give really little snappy 2 or 3 second responses, maybe go through 2 or 3 kids per question and have that be the video. And then once I get the B-roll, layer that over the top, put a little bit of sound underneath, and then there's a couple of things I need to learn to do. Firstly, and hopefully my podcasting background will help me with this, I need to sort out the audio a little bit. I did, luckily, because we were doing all the filming outside, I did have the foresight to use my Zoom H1 recorder and a lavalier microphone, although they got confused with this and most of them just held this, but it's better than nothing. The only problem is it doesn't have a wind filter thing, so the sound on this is a bit rubbish, but it's louder than the sound from the Rode Video Mic Pro that sits on top of my camera. So that's quite quiet and hard to pick up what they're saying for some of them, because we were outside and you can still hear little bits of wind. This is much louder but windier. So I'm going to take both audio files, fiddle with them both, probably in GarageBand, unless I can learn to use Adobe Audition properly. I've never used it, but I pay for it, so I may as well try it. But I know there should be a way to sample a section of the sound and use that to take out, to a point, take out some of that wind noise. I think I'm probably going to try and use the audio off of this because it's louder and clearer, and just take out some of that wind noise. Then I need to learn how to colour balance. That's something I've been told I need to do, and I've never even looked into that. I don't know how possible it is when I'm colourblind. Hopefully it's just a button I press somewhere, because if I have to judge colours myself, not a chance. But just find a piece of music. I think we're probably looking at 4 or 5 hours work. I've already been told I can edit this together at school, which is awesome. So a lot of Thursday, some of Friday is going to be set aside for the last bits of B-roll and for the editing, and then video needs to be presented on Monday. So it's a really, really fast turnaround on it, but I'm hopeful it's going to be good. So 2 thumbs up for that. I think because it's probably going to go on the school website, I should be able to link to it when it's done as well. I think what I'm going to do is set up a Vimeo page for my videographer stuff. I don't want to just bombard this channel with stuff I've done for clients. So if I set up a Vimeo portfolio thing, it just has the stuff I've made for other people, and I can link over to that and tell you where to find it, and you can go and have a look if you're interested. It's just going to be a 3-minute video of kids talking into a camera. So it's not going to be particularly interesting to a lot of you, but when it does appear, I would like your feedback, because it'll be my first attempt at doing anything like this, so it'll probably be pretty ropey in places, but fingers crossed, with you lot there to help and give me feedback, I'll be able to improve for the next thing I do, and the next thing I do is probably going to be for them again. They've still got this anti-bullying campaign that they want a video for, so I can't completely mess this one up, because I want to be able to do the next one. But I have got a little bit of room to improve between the two. I'm only going to get 1 testimonial from them. I don't need 2. There'll be 2 videos for the portfolio, unless 1 or both are rubbish. 1 testimonial, so as long as 1 of them is brilliant, as long as I get better from video to video, that's all I can hope for. Other than that, a few of you have asked why I'm in Coventry tomorrow, or as you're watching this today. In fact, when this is released, I'll already be in the car, because I've got to be in Coventry for 9 o'clock. I'm not actually going into the city of Coventry. I'm going to a hotel just on the outskirts. You can basically fly off the side of the M6 and land in the hotel car park. I went there last year for this moderation standardization day thing. The general gist of the day is you've been seeing this big pile of stuff that's coming. 2 more packages appeared today. I know I've put stuff on top of the pile so it doesn't look as scary anymore, but the pile is growing, I assure you, and there's loads more of that that's come across digitally as well. And we'll sit there in a hotel, we'll get nice muffins and stuff when we arrive. They've got sugar in, no muffins for Kev. There might be a muffin for Kev. I haven't stuck to the no sugar thing strictly. We'll talk about that another day. I'm on a lot less sugar, but if they offer me a croissant or a muffin in the morning, I'm probably going to have it. But there'll be copious amounts of free coffee and really nice free hotel lunch, and we'll just sit around with that, well, sample versions of stuff like that, and all agree on what marks would give them, and once everyone has agreed, we'll get sent off on our merry way to get them marked. The time frames I've got for this stuff, I've been planning it all out in my diary. It is going to be a massively hectic couple of months really when it comes to exam marking and stuff, and I've got a real incentive to do it all as quickly as possible, because the faster I do that stuff, the more likely I am to be able to get more of it. I get my initial allocation and quota, which if I do my initial allocation / quota, we're looking at about £2,500 to £3,000 total payment across the 3 exam boards. But if I can finish quickly and start taking stuff outside of my quota as well, which I did last year, I should be able to increase that. I only did 1 exam board last year and got about 1,500 quid because I finished quick. So looking at the dates, and I realise this isn't going to be interesting to some of you, but some of you did ask about what's happening tomorrow. So tomorrow is the standardisation day for the coursework, and also the exam day for one of the exams that I'm marking. So big day tomorrow. Good luck to any of my students who are watching, by the way, my Year 11 ICT students. Good luck. Sorry I can't be there, but you know, need the money, you'll understand. So as soon as I get home tomorrow, I can start on the coursework pile. I have to do 5 of them signed off by a supervisor. Even though I've done it for them before, I have to have the first 5 signed off by a supervisor to make sure I'm doing it right. So it's a slightly slow start. I'll try and get those first 5 done before the weekend, because then on Friday of this week, the access to the exam marking for the exam that's tomorrow should open up. That's all online. So my girls aren't with me this weekend, and the following weekend we're at Comic-Con. So this weekend is going to be quite a big one for just trying to break the back of that stuff. I want to get about a quarter of a way through certainly a quarter of the way through the coursework stuff. There's a chance I won't have access to the exam thing by then. That'll be a bit of a problem, not a disaster. If I haven't, I'll just plough through more of that stuff and try and get as much of that done as possible, because then deadlines start to hit fairly quickly. Once we get into, hold on, so nothing much happens in half term, but once we get past half term, they really start to throw the deadlines at us. So by the 7th of June, so the Wednesday after half term, I have to have done 25% of the exam marking and 40% of the coursework pile. And then by the 15th of June, so the following Thursday, I need to be 50% through the exam marking. By the following Thursday, the 22nd of June, I need to be 75% of the way through the exam marking, but the other course that I'm marking for, their exam, is that day, I think. It's certainly that week sometime. And their papers will come to me within a couple of days of that. On the 26th of June, so the Monday after the other exam, and the Monday after the 75% exam deadline, I have to have finished all the coursework. The deadline for the coursework is the 26th of June, and then the deadline for the first exam is the 29th of June. The extra exam board that I'm marking for have told me that I'll have access to those papers in the first week of July, so the 3rd of July, which seems really late, but they've got a mega tight turnaround time for them. I have to have done 25% of them by the Friday of that week, the 7th. I then have to have hit the 50% deadline by Tuesday the 11th of July, which is the day after my birthday. And then I have to have hit the full deadline. All of it has to be done by the Saturday of that week, which is the 15th of July. And I'm not at home on the 15th of July because that's Play Expo weekend in Blackpool, so I'll be in Blackpool. So realistically, I've got to have everything done by the 14th. The earlier I finish this stuff, the more extra I can grab. My plan at the moment is to finish the coursework and the first exam as soon as possible, so while I'm waiting for that second exam to come along, I can pick up more of that and try and earn as much as I can on that, because with the second exam, with the deadline being the day before we go away for a weekend, everyone else who's money grabbing will spend that weekend when I'm gallivanting around Blackpool playing retro games and pinball. They'll spend that stealing my money. But if there's any left on the 17th when we come back, I'll try and do a bit more bonus marking, and then on the Thursday of that week is my last day at work. So pretty much from tomorrow through the final 43 days of me being a teacher, as well as being a teacher and still teaching all my lessons, and being a YouTuber and doing all my YouTube videos on both channels, and trying to be a videographer and doing at least 2 videos for my school, I'm also going to be doing that stuff every single day. I am going to be so tired when the summer holidays start. Luckily, to balance it all out, in that couple of month period as well, we're away for a weekend in London for Comic-Con in about 10 days time. Right at the end of it all, we're away in Blackpool for Play Expo in Blackpool, and then a couple of weeks after that, like it's not even that, probably a week after I leave work, Andy's away at his respite care for a couple of days, and me and Anna are having a weekend in Hull. Don't ask why Hull, that's a story for another day. But there's going to be plenty of downtime as well, and then hopefully by mid-August the money has arrived, and when my wages stop in September we're sorted for at least a couple of months, if everything goes desperately wrong. But hopefully it won't. That was a longer video than intended. Once again, I don't know why I sit down planning to do a 6 or 7 minute video when they always hit 15 minutes when it's just me talking. I need to learn to talk less or edit more. But if you've enjoyed it, please make sure you pop a like on there for me, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and thank you very much for watching.